The perception of a language is closely linked with the economic power of the people who use that language. In this module, we'll talk about how changing economic trends affect the use of different languages in the world. We see a changing economic relationship between developing and developed countries in the present times. The recent times have seen the growth of India and China as new economic powers. In fact, China has overtaken many existing economic powers like Germany, France, the UK, Japan, and has become the largest economy of the world, second only to the USA. But China and India are not the only two emerging economies in the present times. Along with China and India, we have two other countries, in fact, Brazil and Russia, which together have formed an economic union, a sort of an organization, and they are together referred to as BRICS by the economists. They have established contracts with each other, vowing or pledging to help each other in economic development. And it is predicted that BRICS economies together probably will soon overtake the G6, the six great economies of the world, which included countries like the USA, Japan, the UK, Germany, France, Canada, etc. So it is predicted that together the BRICS countries, that is Brazil, Russia, China, and India, will overtake these six great economies. Their overall impact will be even stronger than that of, or their overall volume of the economic investment will be larger than that of G6 countries. The economic rise of Asian countries, especially China and India, is likely to end the 5-century-old European domination of the world economy. The Chinese initiatives, there are a number of Chinese initiatives which are likely to give China control of a large number of global resources. And with this intention of going global, the Chinese government fully realizes the need for training Chinese people in global English, and therefore they're making a large amount of investments in English language teaching and in the teaching of global English. One such initiative of the Chinese government is Belt and Road Initiative, BRI as it is called. It's a new economic development paradigm which was launched by the Chinese Prime Minister Xi Jinping with the intention of maintaining the dynamism of the Chinese economy, which led to it becoming the second largest economy of the world. So to maintain this supremacy of Chinese government over majority of the economies of the world, and to perhaps even increase it further to compete with the USA economy, the Chinese government launched this BRI initiative. The idea is to develop markets in different parts of the world, as far as the West, the Mediterranean countries, and to deliver to them directly, not looking for help from other countries, but being able to deliver to these markets on their own. The BRI initiative is actually based on two different proposals. One is the creation of an economic land belt that includes countries which were also included in the original Silk Road. The historical Silk Road was established somewhere in the 206 BC, and it linked China with the Roman Empire. Later on, it expanded further and it reached its height somewhere in the 7th and 8th century. but it declined during the 13th century until the 14th century. The aim of this road comprised several small trade routes. It was not just one long road, but it comprised several trade routes, and the idea was to establish ties, both cultural and economic ties, with different countries in the world that included several Asian countries, Arabia, Mediterranean countries, European countries, so on and so forth. So the idea of the BRI initiative is something similar to the idea behind the traditional Silk Road. And the idea is to connect China with several countries of the world, connect China with the countries as far as Middle East and Europe. The proposal also includes a maritime road, so it's not just the land route but also the sea route. The idea is to link the Chinese ports with African coast, pushing up through the Suez Canal into the Mediterranean Ocean again. So the Mediterranean Sea, I'm sorry. So the Gwadar port that we talked so much about in Pakistan is also a part of the same initiative. And the purpose behind the development of Gwadar port is the same: to facilitate China's access to other markets of the world. We are more familiar with the term CPEC, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, than BRI in Pakistan. So CPEC is the part of BRI which involves Pakistan. It's a collection of infrastructure projects, as many of you might already know, which are already under construction. Many of these are already under construction. The idea is to modernize Pakistan. That is how it is explained here in Pakistan. The idea is to modernize Pakistani infrastructure, especially. And by strengthening Pakistan's infrastructure, it is likely that the economy will also strengthen by the construction of modern transportation, numerous energy projects, and the special economic zones. So the idea is, with the help of China, to initiate these kinds of developments in Pakistan, which will in turn help China in accessing the markets that it is trying to create for Chinese economy in different parts of the world. Why are we interested in BRI and CPEC? We are interested in these Chinese initiatives because we are concerned with the language policy or the impact these initiatives will have on the languages which are used in these parts of the world. If we look at CPEC only, what kind of language policy CPEC is going to follow? Or is there a language policy which has already been outlined for CPEC? Of course, it involves Pakistani workers and Chinese workers. So what is the language of communication between them? Is it going to be English or is it going to be Mandarin? If it is going to be English, what kind of English, and how will all the people involved will learn English? And if it's Mandarin, how will the large number of, let's say, Pakistanis who are involved in the project will obtain or will achieve the degree of competence which is required for convenient kind of communication with their Chinese counterparts? People are also worried. A question which is raised is about the nature of this policy. Will it be an exclusive elitist policy, the kind of language policy that we've had in Pakistan in the past? For example, the policy of having English as an official language, which benefits and favors only a small section of society? Or is it going to be an inclusive policy, which is going to enable speakers of all language communities to participate in these developmental initiatives? So the interest that linguists have in CPEC is about the language policy it is going to follow and the impact it is likely to have on the use of languages in the parts of the world where it is going to be implemented.